Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Natasya Miranda Gihar, and in this video, I'm going to tell you about the derivational morphemes and the change in word classes. So, what is derivational morphemes? Well, derivational morphemes is a part of bound morphemes. So, bound morphemes are divided into two: derivational morphemes and inflectional morphemes. Derivational morphemes are also known as affixes, while inflectional morphemes are also known to add grammatical information to the morpheme. But here I'm going to tell you more about the derivational morphemes and the changes of word classes. So, what is word classes? Word classes or word classification, or even known as the part of speech, are different categories of words used in grammar. The major word classes are noun, verbs, adjectives, and adverb, while the minor word classes are prepositions, pronouns, conjunctions, and others. I bet that you're already familiar with part of speech, but here I'm going to remind you a little bit about part of speech. So, nouns are words that represent to people, things, places, and ideas. For the example is like girl, boy, book, park. And verbs are words that function to explain an action, such as run, walk, read. Adjectives are words to describe nouns or pronouns, which can be people, places, animals, objects, and others. For the example, pretty, handsome, clever. And adverbs are words that modifies or describes a verb, an adjective, another adverb, or even an entire sentence. The example is like very, quickly, loudly, luckily, and etc. And back again to the derivational morphemes. So, what is derivational morphemes? Derivational morphemes are bound morphemes or affixes which derive or create new words and new meaning. It can occur at the beginning or at the end of a word. So, at the beginning we call it as prefix, and at the end of a word we call it as suffixes. The first is prefix. Prefixes are affixes that placed before a morpheme. Most prefixes do not change the part of speech, but some of it can change the part of speech. Here are the prefixes which do not change the part of speech. They are the prefix "un". Here, the prefix "un" added with the morpheme "afraid", which is an adjective, becomes the derived word "unafraid", which means not afraid. And this is still an adjective. Next is prefix "dis". So prefix "dis" added with verb agree becomes disagree, which is still a verb, and the meaning is not agree. Here the prefix "pre" added with morpheme verb arrange becomes prearrange, which the meaning is arranged before, and this prearrange is still a verb. Next is the example of prefix that changes the word classes of part or part of speech. The example is the prefix "be". So here the prefix "be" added with friend, which is a noun, becomes befriend, which the meaning is friend with, and befriend here is already a verb. The other example is the prefix "an". Here the prefix "an" added with the morpheme joy, which is a noun, becomes enjoy, which is a verb. And now we come to the second types of derivational morphemes. It is suffixes. So suffixes are affixes that placed after a free morpheme. Most of suffixes change the part of speech, but some of it cannot change the part of speech too. So here are the following suffixes which change the part of speech. So the first is suffix ment. So the morpheme is agree, which is a verb, and then added with the suffix ment becomes an agreement, which is the agreement is a noun. The next example is suffix li or ly. Here the morpheme clear as an adjective plus ly or li becomes clearly. Clearly is already an adverb. Another example is suffix ify or if or ify. Here the morpheme identity as a noun added with ifi becomes identify, and identify here is already becomes a verb. Another example is suffix ize or eyes from the morpheme real, which is an adjective, becomes realize, which is a verb. So there is a changing from an adjective become a verb. So what about the suffixes that do not change the part of speech? So here are the examples. The first one is suffix ish. So the morpheme is pink added with the suffix ish becomes pinkish, and pinkish here is still an adjective. Another example is suffix ship. Here the morpheme friend, which is a noun, added with suffix ship becomes friendship, and here the friendship is still a noun. Okay, maybe that's all the explanation about the derivational morpheme and the changes in word classes. I hope you guys like the video, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.